Hello and welcome to Bellas Fashionistas Home Edition. I am your host, Fleriser Bello. Thank you for joining us on this beautiful afternoon. We trust that you and your loved ones are well and staying safe. In today's Bellas FireSide chat conversation, we welcome the founder and CEO of Yoshida Consulting. Yoshida Consulting is a talent and professional development company that assists individuals and groups be more creative, more productive, and disruptive. Please join me in welcoming Latina and Mexicana Minue Yoshida. Minue, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon.
Hello, it's a great pleasure for me to be here today. Thank you so much for having me.
Could you please tell us more about what it is that you do and what your company does as well?
In Yoshida Consulting, as you were mentioning, we do talent development workshops. We also do diversity and inclusion strategies. I am a big ambassador of diversity inclusion, and it's not just inclusion, it's inclusion, opportunity, equality, belonging. That's actually the verbs that we have to put in motion. And the third one is public speaking. I am launching this next week, actually, on Wednesday, the 3rd of June, the Academy, Yoshida Academy for Public Speaking. And this is the first time that we launched an academy in both languages, in English and in Spanish.
Congratulations, Minue.
Thank you.
You make
I'm very
us
excited.
proud. I mean, I've seen your incredible work. You have been working with so many corporations and also training so many people to teach them how to speak. And I just want to applaud you for the incredible work that you're doing and that you
Thank
continue
you.
to do and elevating each and one of us.
It's actually quite an honor to be part of so many people's journey into converting their fears into their strengths, and mostly, as you were mentioning, in our community, in the Latino community, in the minority community. So now we are tapping into all of those stereotypes and fears that exist in all our cultures and converting them into the strengths, what makes us unique.
COVID has caused many frustration. COVID has caused many distress. It has turned our lives to be something that is obviously not what we used to. And as we walk towards the road to reopening, as you may know, a lot of states are reopening right now and moving into that road of recovery as well. I would like for you to share more about one of the workshops that you teach, which is Shaping Her History. And if you could tell us how can you help us become more disruptive? How can we gain that strength to kind of put ourselves together and move forward towards this new road that we have just coming in front of us?
It's interesting because you start by mentioning COVID-19 and how people have come to frustration and to think, what am I going to do? I was doing this thing and I was on this track, and then suddenly I'm not on that track. And I am going to say something. COVID-19 is a blessing for many people. By the way, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that it's a blessing for those who are suffering or who are sick or who are passed away. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that for those of us who had no choice but to reinvent ourselves and to figure it out, because that's much of the things that are actually happening is figuring it out. Just like the schools need to figure out, just like children need to figure out, what are we going to do? So in that perspective is where it's a blessing, because it moves us out of our comfort zone. And you were asking me about disruption. Well, I can't think of any other more of a disruption than this. Like, this is truly the one. There are many cultures that actually consider crisis equals opportunity. It is a chance to think and figure out. I love that phrase because you need to be resourceful to do that one. What am I going to do? Because the show must go on. You have to continue. I have a lot of people that are calling me and saying, I was already on the path of, I was going to get promoted. I was going to do this thing. I was going to speak in front of others. I was going to this event. I was going to, and then suddenly it stopped. And what I have to say right now is that it didn't stop. It was a pause, but it was a pause that was kind of placed by you and by whomever was organizing. I get that. Take the pause off. It's now you have the control. So if it wasn't paused because the place is closed and that event that you were going to talk is no longer open, then what is open?
Mhm.
So focus not on the what didn't happen, focus on the what can happen, what is happening right now, and what could you make happen. I believe that what we call right now the new norm is no longer the new norm. Let's take away the word new. It's been 3 months. Let's call it normal, and let's just, we wouldn't even need to call it. This is it. When we go back to whatever that was, getting together and going to these events and going to these workshops and going back to the office and keep working, the reality is that we're not going to go back to what it was. We all need to know that right now. If they're already changing, why would people still resist that change? It makes no sense. We change every day. Actually, 5 minutes ago, the Minue that joined this session 5 minutes ago with you is not the Minue that is right now. We're evolving by the minute.
Mhm.
Change is inevitable. You have to go through it. And so, why would you resist something that is already happening? Change is to be embraced. So when
Mhm.
we're talking about reshaping history, like shaping history, by the way, many people don't like to call it history because it has his in the title, and they like calling it her story. So it's open to anyone that wants to change the name into reshaping her story. Um, when we are thinking of reshaping and reinventing, we need to understand that it is an evolution. It's not from here to here. It doesn't work like that. It's from here to here as it evolves. It's a spiral that keeps going and going, and that's the first thing that we need to consider is that it doesn't matter if right now it's a BI platform that is technology. It doesn't matter if it's in person. It doesn't matter what you were doing. What matters is where you're going. And that would be my first tip or my first advice. You want to shape your story? Imagine then your story first. Visualize that story. What do you want to change? Because you can't just go, for a professional, you can't just go to the corporations and say, I want this to change. This what? Exactly what? Clarity, then it's the first one. Where you're going. So I'm imagining, I like analogies, and I'm always thinking that you're a ship in the ocean and then you need to find a beacon of light. Because if not, then where are you going? Where's your north? You will be lost. So you need your light, and then you need the stars so that you actually can measure and go. Once you know where you're going, the second thing that is my suggestion, Fleriser, is a mistake that we always make. People say, like, make a plan. So step one, step two, step three. And that could be a mistake as well. If I know that I'm going somewhere, I should be planning backwards from there to here. So I'm going to go over there. And the question is, what do I need to be there? I'm going to think of people that are right now in the middle of a career advancement dilemma. I was going to go for that VP place or for that office or for that. Okay. What do you need to be there? Oh, I need this certification, this book, this licensing, this course, this training, this, I need to work on these abilities, on the skills like that you need to have really well defined.
Just like you said, we used to have a norm. We used to have ways of doing things automatically. We used to be robots, and now
Mm.
we're focusing. So you mentioning have a vision, have a plan. So what if the plan doesn't work out the way that we thought?
And that's the thing that it doesn't matter if that particular plan that you have is not working out, because the biggest asset that anyone can have, both in businesses and corporations and in school and in life, is our capability to adapt and flow. Not long ago, when I was, escalating the ladder in corporate America, interesting thing, because it took me a while to get where I was, and I always thought that I will get the next level of my next job or my next opportunity if I was the one that knew the most, if I was the one that worked the most, 12 hours, 15 hours, I was killing myself. It was like, I was always giving more, and I was like overachiever and let's not sleep and right. And as I was going up, I realized something. Freddie said that it wasn't the most capable person, the one that got promoted or the one that got the opportunity. It wasn't the brightest. it was the person who was able to adapt and flow the best. Isn't it crazy that it's like we're
Mhm.
thinking we're thinking about capabilities and aptitudes and skills that you need to learn, and it's not that. It's how fast you can adapt and evolve. How fast you can say, "Oh, we're not going there. We're going there. Oh, okay, we'll ship. Hey, everybody, the ship is going right. Okay, we'll go right." It's the coachability. It's able to be following that direction. I learned it the hard way. I wasn't that way. I was a little bit more like, "Wait, why? No, but we were hired for this, or we were no." And it was a mistake, and I didn't understand that until I was a corporate vice president, and I was on those tables deciding, or listening, not deciding, like listening, who's going to get the next level, the next job. And all I heard was, "Oh, Fleriser had this great attitude." I was like, you're doing this on attitude. Oh, Fleriser has the can do, the can do spirit. Oh, wow. So it's your capability of saying, I might not know it now, but I'll get it. Same thing with people that are right now looking for jobs, that people are being interviewed right now. You wanna reshape your story, then get ready for that interview that will happen via Zoom or via Google Meets or whatever that is, and be ready to respond to something very important. That is, I might not be able to know it now, but I am willing to learn. I'm a fast learner, and I can learn fast, and mean it, by the way. It's not just a phrase, it's actually something that you feel. But going back to the plan, the majority of the plans fail, Fleriser, because we are not, we're moving the beacon of light. Like, if the light is there,
Mhm.
don't look everywhere and elsewhere. And this is what's happening right now to many of us professionals, right? We're like, oh wait, the light is here. Oh wait, the light is here. No, 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 no. The light has not moved. The focus hasn't moved. Your lens moved, so just readjust it. But your fire, where you're going, I call it the fire, and it's something that is actually burning inside of you, that you know what you want.
It
You
does.
know where you're going. It's not new. It's not that, oh my god, COVID is happening, I can't go over here, so then let me rethink everything. That is not true. Your passion is your passion, and it's still there. What changed was just the medium, the vehicle, the how. But the why need to be really clear. The why. Once you have that why, then yes, you trace it backwards. How do I need to dress for that?
Mhm.
How do I need to think there once I'm there? Who do I need to talk to? What type of behaviors I need to impersonate? What do I need to read? How do I need to prepare myself? So you trace in timeline. I'm not kidding. Like backwards. It's like you've been an event planner as well. It's just like me. We have an event. Okay, how many days before do we need to set the food, the copies, the branding, the marketing? We trace it back. It's exactly the same thing if you want to rekindle and your fire and reshape your history. um, and so once you're planning backwards, as long as you don't lose that focus, then create routines. You know what is the biggest issues that we're having right now? It's discipline. I have to call it that way because it is what it is. It's as simple as that. It's just discipline. We don't have a commute to, we don't have to fight any uh, Washington Bridge or any Lincoln Tunnel. We don't have to wait for the bus. We don't have to, like, there's a lot of the routines
Mhm.
that are not happening right now, right?
We will take a quick break, and when we return, Minue will provide tips on how we could become more bold, more disruptive as we walk towards the road to changing our history. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back.
Hello.
Minue, I want to thank you because these are just so many important points that you're giving us. And changing our history is very a process, a long
Definitely.
time. But how can you? I know that you had mentioned before that we could not look at a routine, but more like a discipline. How do we work towards being more disciplined in order to uh, move into the road of changing our history more?
I'm glad that you name again the word that we're looking for, because let's not change the names, right? Discipline is discipline, and what we need to do is create the routines as if we were still working in where we're working, whether it's a company, whether it's your own business. Just create the same routines. And so get up at this time and exercise at this time and have the breakfast at this time and just follow that. Long time ago I heard that routines will save us from madness, no? La rutina nos salva de la locura. And I heard that and I was like, how is routine saving you from madness? Yes, it does. Because otherwise, it's complicated and difficult to have an expectation on when things should happen for you, right? We have to remember that we are, creatures of habits. And so you can't really create a habit if you don't create those routines. Like every day, something must happen. I'm not saying routine as in monotony, by the way. You can
Thank
still be
you.
creative. Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. But you know that you get up at this time, that your calls happen from here to here. Like, although my meetings, the majority of my meetings are on Mondays, for example. I know that, right? At this point, I love eating with my family, so it's kind of a routine. And so we just do that, and it really helps you accomplish that goal. If you really want to change things, then let me go to the next point. So if one of the people in the audience or your viewers are taking notes, this is the next one. You know what you need to do, because yeah, don't come and say like, what should I do? You know what you need to do. The thing is that you haven't been wanting to do it. There's something that's stopping you. That could be anything from procrastination to just laziness, or really not knowing how. The only thing is that right now in 2020, not knowing how is no longer an excuse because welcome the internet. You can find out how. Somebody can teach you how. It's global. You can figure out how. You learn how. It's just that sometimes we don't do it. And if you ask me, how can I become disruptive and make things happen? Well, be bold enough to challenge yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not about challenging others, by the way. It's not challenging the boss and the leadership, and you challenge you and say you're going to do it. Talk to yourself. Seriously, like go in the mirror and talk to yourself and say you're going to do it. And you're going to do it because you promise you're going to do it. There is honor in the word. And that's something that my father told me a long time ago, my Japanese side. If you say you're going to do something, commit yourself and do it. Your honor goes with it, right?
I just want
Yes.
to thank you for correcting that, because there is positive routine and negative routine. And routine to me, it sounds like, oh my God, this all over again. But you're absolutely right. If we don't have a discipline that turns into a routine, then it's going to be counterproductive, and it's not going to help us
Exactly.
achieve to where we need to go. But you also mentioned you need to be bold, right?
Mm.
And being bold is such, it takes a lot of courage, because for those people that have many factors that doesn't allow them to move forward, or that keeps them on the procrastination mode, you know how can you talk to us? And I know that you were going to say something, but I just want to catch it before you say it,
Oh,
because
that's
we
great
need
because
like those, because we need like the strength. So how can we get strength? How can we look for strength that could help us maintain in this linear, I don't like using the word linear, but that
Mhm.
could help us maintain in this path to continuing with that discipline.
I was actually going to say this, so I'm glad that you created a segue for this. And it's not going to. So when you're talking about, I want to be strong for this, then you have to go to the root. What is actually stopping you? And the majority of this stuff of things that stop us, it's fear, literally, And there's two types of fears: the fears that comes from the outside and fears that are coming from the inside. In the outside could pretty much be, I'm going to be fired, I'm going to lose that client, I'm going to, and that's what you have to take in and say, I don't care. Now you say, but I do care. I have a rent to pay. And here is where we go with the irony of life. The less you care, the more confident you become. The more confident you become, the more appreciated and valued you are, because people see you as brave. And so I want to have brave people as my client, as my vendor, as my boss, as my coworker, as my friend, as my partner, as I want great people around me. And so it's this circle that it was not going to it's not going to end until you decide to cut one of them. And the place to cut is when you say, I'm going to do it, right? I'm going to do it because it's the right thing in the right way for the right reasons. This is something that I actually teach on my workshops on the confident public speaker is, I know you're judging, but I don't care if you judge me.
How do we move forward from the judging steps in, right? And
Doing it.
having that in the back of our heads, because it takes a lot of courage, meanwhile, to be able to say I don't care. It really does. Because at some point it kind of bothers us, right? But thank you so much for saying be bold and just do it and don't care. But how do we move forward from not caring?
Understanding the ultimate, like who are you really targeting, right? Who are you really targeting? If I'm talking to my business partner who I respect so much, and Uganda, and she gives me her point of view, guess what? I do care, right? But somebody that in the past is criticized me for something or has judged me for something that was completely off, or a former boss that tried to keep me boxed into, this is what you need to do, this is your job. See, I don't care. So it's all about who are you, who are you worried about, right? And then guess what? Something that I have learned also, from the people that I work with, is that mostly with Andy as well. She said, like, I have one person that I care about, and I'm in good standing, and so the rest. No, here's what happened is the less you care, and it's, oh, by the way, Floriser, it's a skill, and as a skill, it's not a switch. So it's not that one day you wake up and you say, like, I don't care. No, it doesn't work like that. It's little by little. So here's a step by step process for you to stop caring. First is bring that bold idea that you want, and you know who are great teachers for this? Children. Children. And if you don't have children around you, just ask a millennial, like a recent, like a Gen Y and a Gen X, and say, how would you do this? And they're going to give you an answer that for you is like, wait, what? I'm not going to do that, right? And in that case, then go for it. And why wouldn't you? I'm telling you, because they think in a wild way, and so why wouldn't we connect in this way? Why wouldn't do this other? Just go for it, and then little by little you start thinking, okay, I'm going to go for this. Wait, let me give you another one, very important. It's not about judging in the outside; it's the judging that you have in your inside. That's the biggest one, not
Yes.
the outside. And the biggest one that comes in your inside comes from a place where you're seeking perfection.
Mhm.
Perfection is like the opioid of the masses. Perfection is like what's killing you. It doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to exist. And by the way, I'm talking to myself as well. I am, I'm going to create one day a whole session on on just for the day. I'm not perfect, and I'm going to give my chips, like Alcoholics Anonymous, with perfection is anonymous, right? Like, just for today, I am not perfect, and it's fine. And here's the thing, that you go ahead and do it. It's not great. It's not what you imagine. It's not, but you did it. Now you're going to learn from it, and then you go back, to whatever you wrote, whatever you posted, whatever you recorded, whatever work you did, whatever program you launched. It doesn't really matter. Whatever you do, right? You go back to it and you say, oh, I didn't like this. Oh, I didn't like this other. That's okay. Now you can make it better, but it shouldn't stop you. And that's exactly how you can be disruptive and really change history. It's because the big word that you must have in front of you is audacity.
Yes.
Dare to do it. Audacity. It's not going to be wonderful and perfect. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. You can do it better and better every time. And again, it's coming from a person that it's not, that I've been stopping the past for not being perfect. And the last thing is to have an accountability circle, right? So if you have people that are going to hold you accountable for something, odds are you will do it. And this is the secret that many companies follow, like Weight Watchers or Noom, or going to the gym, right? You don't go by yourself.
Mhm.
But if I tell you, Fleriser, I'm picking you up at 9 o'clock in the morning, we're going to the gym, you will be ready, because
Yes.
I'm going to hold you accountable.
Yes.
Because I'm going to hold you accountable. It's the same like starting a diet. Don't start it on your own. right? Started with a group of people, somebody to tell you, hey, Fleriser, have you been eating your vegetables? Have you, is your intake of water? Have you have it?
Yes,
And
I
so,
have. I have, by the way. I have.
good. The accountability circle is going to keep you, on your
You told
toes, and
he said that at the same time. Oh, you're so
yes, exactly. It's going to say like, oops, I need to do it. And so openly, openly promise things to people, you know, tell them, tell it to the world, post it. When I'm when I'm with people that I'm coaching, I said, dare to put it on Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn and all that. I said like, no, because now the world is going to be expecting it. Yes, so let the world be your witness so that somebody can hold you accountable. Otherwise, you're not going to do it. And create your own deadlines, create your own milestones, your own deadlines, put them, even if you have to fabricate it, it doesn't matter. But have someone asking you, how are you doing with that, Fleriser? Did you launch that thing, Fleriser? Did you do that thing, Fleriser? Did you? So we all need that. We're humans. We're humans in society. So that's going to keep you accountable.
And this is the way that we could change our story, that we could have a better vision, have a better outlook, and moving forward to this reopening stages and new norm in our lives. And thank you so
Yes.
much for saying that. It's
Thank
so,
you.
so good and constructive for each
Thank you.
one of us and
Oh,
everyone.
and the last thing, Fleriser, story cannot be changed months and years at a time. It's one day. So just choose one thing and change that tiny thing. Just one.
Especially us women, we tend to be very apologetic. I think that if we are less apologetic, and that
Yeah.
goes with not caring, and it's not that we don't care, but
Yeah.
you're absolutely right about that. If we just let things go,
Yeah.
that's what builds boldness and leadership. Not
Yes.
caring what other people have to say. Depends what it is.
Yes, exactly.
So
And then if somebody has to say something and gives you feedback, then say thank you, because every criticism is a gift. Every feedback is a gift. Every piece of information that somebody will give you, whether you want to take it positive or negative, it doesn't really matter. It's a gift. So take it as, okay, I'll take care of that, write it down, and then improve it on the next time.
it's
That's when judgment stop being really a bad thing, and it becomes a good thing, because it's like, thank you for helping me grow. Write it down and then improve it. Move on, move on, move on, move on.
I want to thank you, Minue, for joining us today. Thank you for
My pleasure.
providing all this incredible information that could change our lives. How
Yeah.
can people contact you, Minue?
So that's the beautiful thing about having a very odd name, is that when you Google Minue Yoshida, everything will appear. So in LinkedIn, I'm as Minue Yoshida, Instagram, Minue Yoshida, also Yoshida Consulting, Facebook as well, and Twitter, and YouTube, Yoshida, the Confident Public Speaker. So I'm all over any platforms that you need.
Please be sure to follow us on social media at Bellas Fashionistas and also our media partner at Bronxnet TV. To watch more of our programming, please visit our website at bellasfashionistas.com and our media partner at bronxnet.org. Take care and have a great day.